AI is taking over the music production world by storm, and today I want to give you the 4 best AI music production tools right now. These 4 tools are Splice Stacks, Soundful, Unison Bass Dragon, and Musicfy. The proper use of these 4 tools will help you dramatically increase your output and make sure that every single time you go to the DAW, you'll never face a lack of inspiration again. Now, before we dive in, I just want to make a quick comment about the concept of AI in music production. There is a debate as to whether services like this are some form of cheating, but personally, I believe AI is here to stay. And whether you love it or hate it, it's part of the future of music creation and can help push the boundaries of what is possible. Just like when Photoshop came out, you can think of this as a tool to expand your creativity rather than a crutch or some form of a shortcut that's cutting corners. And with that being said, let's jump into it, and let's first start by talking about Splice Stacks. Splice Stacks uses AI to feed you combinations of splice sounds that work simultaneously. What's great about this is it uses Splice's entire library and can just feed you multiple sounds that all work together in terms of their key, BPM, and vibe. So you can start by going to Splice's website and clicking on the Create tab, and from here, all you gotta do is start by picking a style. We can go with Night Rave, which gives you kind of a melodic techno, melodic house vibe. And it's just gonna immediately start playing 5 random samples from Splice, all tuned to be in key with one another and at the appropriate BPM that you select. So we can start by selecting a BPM that we might wanna create a song with. Let's go with 126 beats per minute. And then you can just kind of click New Stack here as much as you want, and you can keep hearing idea after idea. So let's play around with this for a little bit and see if we can find a couple samples that we think sound really good with one another. While searching, you can mute layers, solo layers, or generate new layers if you want to replace one layer, for example. So this combination feels really strong to me. So now all you gotta do is export it. So you come over here to the export button and you can select an Ableton Live project. I use Ableton Live, so this is the easiest way to do it. If you export stems, that's for any other DAW, which will retain the original key and BPM of your stack. And if you use original samples, you will have to make note of the BPMs and keys of each individual sample if you want to manually warp those to match again. But once you've decided which one you want to use, it's pretty simple. You just pick it, you export it, and for me, I'm gonna go with the Ableton Live project. And this will give us a complete Ableton project with these sounds already warped and completely ready to go for you to create. So I can go ahead and play that. And now it's like as if you started a song 10 minutes ago and you've kind of created this initial idea, this initial spark of inspiration. Now, the next tool we have is Soundful. Soundful really takes AI and music production to the extreme because it's essentially a ghost producer AI robot. You can put in a key and a BPM and a vibe, and it will literally spit out an entire song for you to use. Now, clearly, this is the most extreme form of AI in music, and I would never use this to just finish and replace a song and the production process. But what's great about this is when you already have an idea like we have, you can have it spit out a bunch of additional samples and stems and things that you might be able to use in your track. While I think this song that the AI created isn't that special, there's definitely some usable parts that I can download, put into my Ableton project, and beef up my song even more. So all I have to do from here is save it and then use some credits in order to download the stems. Then it's just a matter of figuring out which parts of the AI song you want to use in your track. It took me about 10-15 minutes to organize and flesh out all the stems that I was given, and I ended up with this. Obviously, at this point, this is where your normal production process can start to come in, but it's crazy how much further along you can be at the start with a pretty awesome sounding idea. Now let's talk about Unison Bass Dragon. This is one of the coolest AI plugins out there, and it allows you to create endless bass lines super quickly based on any genre and key. What's amazing about this plugin is that it allows you to drag the MIDI from the plugin straight into your DAW and use any synth you want with the bass. However, the plugin itself also has a built-in synth, so you can audition really cool bass lines in the context of your track until you find something you want to work with. So let's take some time playing around with this with our current track and see if we can beat our bass line by making something awesome and fresh in Unison Bass Dragon. All you gotta do is click this button right here to generate a brand new bass line that matches the genre and the key you selected, as well as the length that you want the clip to be. That sounds really dope, and it was as easy as clicking the button a couple times. Now from here, you'll probably want to edit your bass line, and you can do that inside this MIDI editor on Bass Dragon, but I prefer to drag and drop the MIDI into my DAW. That way I can be familiar with the built-in DAW editor, because I'm just faster at that. But both options work. And in this particular case, I actually think that the synth that Unison came up with sounds pretty darn good, but if you wanted to, you could apply any synth you want to this new bass line. After configuring this sound and processing it a little bit, here's what we ended up with. Of all the AI tools out there, Unison Bass Dragon gets the closest to actually being good enough to use as is, but I still encourage you to play around with the MIDI, play around with the synths you use, and come up with something fresh and original every time. Last but not least, we have Musicfy, which is one of the best AI vocal creation tools out there. Essentially, you can upload any acapella, whether it's something you sing directly into the application or a recording, and it'll spit out a super high quality vocal acapella that's completely AI. This is a game changer for many artists who struggle to find high quality vocal performances that they can use in their original songs. You can audition the various AI vocals that you have available. If you pay for the service, you can unlock more options as well. But let's go ahead and take a listen to some of these.
I can fall back to daddy, how we do it on my push me to the edge, all my friends are dead. Push me to the edge, all my friends are dead.
So let's say we liked Evan's voice and we wanted to make a little bit of a top line for our song. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and go back over to Ableton and I'm gonna start playing the beat, and then I'm gonna come over here and record in some vocal ideas. Feel the beat to the street, what you need, oh yeah. Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah. Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah. Once you've recorded your voice, you can click the remix button after having selected an AI and set the pitch to create the AI acapella. Now, I'm no singer, so my voice is probably pitchy, it might be a little bit out of time. You might need to take this sample and go in and manipulate it, but it's going to sound a lot better for any of you that aren't singers yourselves than anything you could do to process your voice. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this.
Oh yeah. Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah.
Awesome, so now I can download it, and all I gotta do is go back to Ableton and bring it in. Let's go ahead and find the part that I liked here.
Feel the beat. Feel the.
And then, you're gonna have to adjust the timing to make sure it works.
Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah. Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah.
I think the second time I sung it, it was a little bit tighter in the performance.
Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah.
And then from here, you can use various vocal processing techniques to get this vocal to fit more in the track and sound really, really professional. So after some processing and arrangement, let's go ahead and hear what this sounds like in the context of our track.
Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah. Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah. Feel the beat, you and me, what we need, oh yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm not a singer, and if you had an actual singer, you could completely transform their voice into a totally different person and still have an incredible high-quality a cappella to work with. This is really a game changer if you don't have big budgets and you want to work with singers, but you can't afford vocal fees. There's really a lot of endless ways you can utilize this technology. And there you have it. These 4 AI music production tools are really going to give you a leg up on your creative process. And remember that AI is always evolving and getting better and better, so keep a lookout for new tools and new technologies to help you out. The things you can do with AI are getting pretty crazy. And by the way, just to throw a curveball at you, me talking right now is a trained AI model of my voice. If you're interested in learning more about how you can take your production skills to the next level, be sure to check out our Hyperbits Masterclass. And also be sure to download our top 14 AI music creation and production tools PDF completely for free by clicking the link here. I encourage all of you to really hone in and master your craft and utilize AI as an assistant rather than a complete replacement for your production. If any of you have any experiences with tools like these, please leave them in the comments below, as well as any input you have on the ethical use of AI in music. Happy producing.